Welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be speaking on the lymphatics. I'm going to share a little as to why you might like to integrate a self-massage practice into your daily routine. And of course, I will show you the self-massage practice that you can take with you and hopefully find a lot of benefit from. So in very simple terms, we can think about the lymphatic system as our removal system. It takes all of the toxins that we have in our body and essentially takes them out. Unlike our bloodstream that has the heart to pump the blood through the system, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump to move the lymph through the body. So what it relies on is things like movement, breath work, and touch to kind of clear the system to support the removal of toxins. So essentially with self-massage, we're just helping to keep the system going, keep it clear, keep everything moving as best it can. Some of the symptoms that you might experience if your lymphatics are clogged or blocked is this kind of sensation of swelling within the body. You can be experiencing skin irritations, you might have problems with digestion, it could be fatigue, brain fog. There are a lot of things that happen when the lymphatic starts to slow down. And the reason that the lymphatic system is so important is because all of the other systems within your body have very essential roles. And if we are not able to move toxins out of our body, all of those systems start to take on quite a lot of load because they're not working as well as they could because they have a lot of pressure. The lymphatic system also works very closely with your immune system. So it's easy for you to become unwell if these areas are just accumulated a lot of stuff. So this practice can be very, very simple, but also very profound. And what I mean by simple is the touch that we work on is very soft, very subtle. In a way, we do this so that we can actually really feel into the subtleties of the body and become very attuned to the shifts that we might experience. But also at the same time, you might experience some pretty profound and big shifts. It's not uncommon for you to have sort of detox symptoms, and those can look like many things. So even though we're working very subtly, we are working quite deep within these systems. And if you would like to go a little bit further with this practice, which could be a really amazing thing to see the physical shifts that you'll experience, because this is something that will occur if you continue with this practice, but the changing of your face. So if you want to take a moment, you can pause the video to take a photo of your face. If you take the photo, just take a photo where your face is very relaxed, softening all of the muscles within your face, no expression, natural lighting, and seeing if you can look directly into the camera. And then I would encourage you to do this practice over a week and then take a photo again to compare and just notice any of the differences. Some of the things you might experience is a lightening of your skin, a lifting of the eyes, more of a brightness. Once again, we're moving toxins out of the body, or we're supporting the removal of toxins out of the body. So your skin and your body will start to reflect the shifts. So when you're ready, let's start in a nice comfortable seat. We'll take a moment to breathe before we come into the practice. So soften your eyes and just start to breathe. And then see if you can start to follow your breath in. Just to the soft and hazy place in which your breath starts. Begin to deepen your breath. And start to feel the fullness of who you are begin to expand. Notice whatever is sitting with you today. Cultivating this practice of allowing, simply being here with whatever feels alive and real. And then starting to take a nice slow deep breath in. And then just softening the breath out. One more like that. Nice slow deep breath in. And then a soft breath out. And then as you feel ready, you can start to blink your eyes open. So we're going to start by bringing our fingertips towards the left collarbone. So you're going to use your right hand towards the left collarbone. You want to have 2 fingers above and below, and you have the option to bring your touch directly onto your skin if you like, or if you're wearing clothing, you can also do this practice on top of your clothes. We're going to start with a very soft, gentle touch. So almost like a soft little feather just rubbing just above and below the collarbone. And as you do this, see if you can lean into whatever it is that you feel with your breath. And then you're just going to start to drop in a little bit deeper with the depth of your fingertips. Once again, it doesn't have to be super hard. This practice is very subtle in the way that we touch, but allowing yourself to really feel the sensations of your fingers. And then from here, you're going to find 10 taps. Nice slow deep breath in, full deep breath out. And then shifting over to the right side, so left hand, right collarbone. I'm just going to be mindful of my mic. Starting with a really gentle, feathery touch. Almost like you're touching your skin, experiencing it for the first time. And then starting to move in just a little bit deeper. And then 10 slaps. Slow breath in. Full breath out. And right hand to the back of the left ear. So you're just going to bring your fingertips behind the ear and you're going to feel for the muscle that runs down the neck. So there's a little bit of a space between the ear, just as the top of the jawline starts, and this muscle, and you're just going to work into this space. Once again, we start with a soft, gentle touch, and then you can start to sink in a little bit deeper. And then 10 taps. Feeling the breath as you transition into your second side. Left hand to the back of the right ear. Starting with a nice soft touch. Starting to sink in a little deeper. And then 10 taps. Connecting in with the breath. And then you're going to start to bring your right hand towards the space between your chest and your left armpit. So once again, we're starting with a feathery touch, and you're kind of pulling from the armpit towards the heart. And then starting to sink in a little bit deeper. And then finding your taps. And then over to the other side. Soft, gentle touch from the armpit across the chest towards the heart. A little deeper. And then 10 taps. And then you're going to bring your fingertips to your chest. And then you're just going to start to kind of pull the skin away. So you're using the fingers to just spread. And you can go a little bit deeper within this space. So pulling the tissues away from one another. And then you're going to start to move down a little bit lower working the space just above the belly button. And as you work into this space, see if you can keep the belly soft. So almost give yourself permission to come forward, soften. And if you notice any of these areas that you touch into feel a little bit sensitive, this could be an indication that there is a lot that is congested. So just notice, be mindful, digging in with the fingers, meeting the sensations with the breath, moving down a little bit lower, and then finding 10 taps. Taking a breath here. You can lay down if you like for the next part, or you can remain seated. You're just going to bring your legs forward, and from here we're going to move into the hip creases. So you want to look for the space above and below the hip creases, and you're just going to take your fingertips, once again starting softly as you gently rub into the space, and then starting to sink in a little bit deeper. And then tapping, 10 taps. Then you're going to bring your hands to the back of your left knee. So with looking for the space behind the hamstring. So from the back of the knee, we're going to pull up just a little bit, not all the way, but it's a gentle pull. And then once again, starting softly and then moving in a little bit deeper. And then from here, 10 taps. And then over to your other side. And then 10 taps. From here, we're going to shift down to the inner ankles. So you can do both at the same time, just allowing the fingertips to sink in, creating little circles of movement, using the breath to keep the body soft. And then 10 taps. Taking a moment here, maybe closing the eyes down, feeling into your breath. So the areas that we've just worked with are the major dams within the lymphatic system. So if you're shorter on time, but you want to work with this practice every day, I would focus on these main areas to begin. And you can go a little bit faster than I've just guided you through. So just focusing on creating that sensation, that depth, working with some tapping, ensuring that you start from the collarbones to the back of the ears, from the armpits towards the chest area, down the sternum, the belly, the hips, behind the knees, and then the inner ankles. Although the inner ankles aren't referred to as one of the bigger dams, they are very nice to work with, so I do include them in this practice. So from here, we're now going to move towards the face. You always want to make sure whenever you're working with this type of massage that you do focus on the collarbones and the space between the ears, because these are the largest dams. So we really want to make sure this space is very cleared out, as it's the last entry point before it goes into the heart to take all of the waste out. So if you prefer to work on your face, you can work on your face, but you want to make sure you do the collarbones and behind the ears first, and then come to the face, and then you can do the rest of the body, or you can do the body and then come back up towards the face. So let's bring our fingers now just to the space underneath the jawline. So see if you can kind of like keep a softness to the hands, but just let the fingertips kind of sink in. And as you do, just start to pull the tissues just kind of back towards the ears. And then just bring your thumb and your index finger, almost like you're pinching, just to the tip of your chin, and just start to squeeze the tissues here. And then start to pull along the jawline towards the ear. And just do 2 or 3 of those. And then from here, you're going to take your fingertips and you're just going to start to bring them up towards the cheeks where the muscles around the jaw sit, and you're just going to start to find a few circles here. So just really digging in gently to the muscles around the face. And then you're going to bring your 2 pointer fingers and we're going to place them either side of the mouth, just keeping your face nice and soft. You're going to start to just rub either side of the mouth. Finding 5 taps, or a little bit more if you like. And then you're going to bring your fingertips up towards your cheeks. So from here, it's like we're looking for a little pinch, and it's almost like your face or the cheeks on your face are like clay. And you're just starting to find the sensation of rubbing the tissues between the fingers. Just kind of kneading the cheeks. Maybe pinching a little bit. And then you're going to start to bring your pointer fingers once again to the smile line. So just above the mouth, heading up towards the corner of the nose, and same action again. So just rubbing. And then from here, you're going to take your fingers and you're going to pull away. You're going to come up towards the ears, and then you're going to bring it down the side of the neck. I'm going to do one more like that. Pull across, and then draw it down the side of the neck. And then from here, you're going to start to pinch your nose, and you're going to take the knuckles of your right hand, and it's like you're contouring underneath the cheekbone. So you're going to pull a little bit to create a bit of tension, and then you're going to use your knuckles to contour underneath the cheekbone. You're going to pull it up towards your ear, behind, and then down the back of the neck. We'll do 2 more like this. Pull, and then down. Pull, and then down. Switch sides. Finding a little pinch of the nose, contouring with the knuckles of the left hand underneath the cheekbone, towards the ear, then behind the ear. And then from here, taking your fingers once again, and you're just going to look for this little groove either side of the nostrils. It's like kind of like a little divot, and then you just want to create little circles. So just pushing in, letting the face be soft. And then from here, once again, we're holding onto the nose, and we're going to take the knuckles, and this time we're going to contour above the cheekbone, but you want to be mindful of the skin just below the eye. So you don't want to be too high because that skin is quite fragile, but you just want to contour just above, just on the very top of the cheekbone. So finding a little bit of pressure and tension as you pull towards the back of the ear and then down the neck. Once again, we take 2 more like this. And then switching sides. And then taking your 2 pointer fingers again, you're going to start to rub either side of the nose, maybe even the skin on top of the nose, moving the tissues around. And then you're going to start to rub just up a little bit higher, so the space between your eyebrows. And then from here, you're going to start to grab the tissues of the eyebrows and you're going to squeeze and pull gently, just away from one another. So it's a little pinch and pull, pinch and pull, pinch and pull, working all the way along your eyebrows just a few times. Now from here, you're going to take your fingertips and you're going to bring them below your eyebrow. And as you do this, you're going to kind of let them sink in a little bit and you're going to drop your wrists. So you're going to keep your hand nice and heavy. And then you're just going to kind of let the weight of your fingers start to glide up towards your hairline. Like you're separating the tissues, allowing the fingertips to spread, pulling up. So sinking the fingers in, keeping the wrist down. Feeling a weightiness to the hand and then just letting the fingertips sink in as you glide up towards the hairline, more like this. And then over to the other side, fingertips sink in, keeping the wrists heavy, just allowing the fingertips to slide up and separating up towards the hairline. Then you can use either your fingers or your knuckles, and then you're just going to bring them to the middle of your forehead and then pull across, down the face, and then to the back of the neck. Cross, down the face, the back of the neck. Last one. Cross, down the face, and then the back of the neck. And then just take a moment to take a breath. And then you're going to use those fingers to just do the same action on top of the cheekbones, across the face, and then down, pulling it down. Across the cheekbones, down the side of the neck. Then towards the smile line, so either side of the lower part of the nose, pull across. Pull the tissues down the back of the neck. Cross. And then down towards the mouth, cross, and then down, cross, and then down, and then pinching to the jawline, pulling the tissues across, and then down, cross, and then down. And then from here, keeping your fingertips soft, you can use 2 or 3 fingers. You kind of let your fingertips kind of sink in just above the jawline. And the wrists are going to drop down. And it's kind of like you're hooking, so dropping down and then almost like hooking underneath the skin. And then you're just going to keep the weight of the hands. The face is soft and you're going to start to push the fingers up towards the cheekbones and then to the corners of your eyes. Up to the hairline, and then release. We'll do 2 more like this. So sink the fingertips in, kind of hook underneath the skin, allow the tissues to drag up towards the cheekbones, corner of the eyes, and then towards the head. And then last one, sink in, drop the wrists, allow the fingertips to slowly come up. And then there we go. And then from here, just take a nice slow breath in. Full breath out. And then just use your fingertips and see if you can bring a lot of depth to the tap. And you're just going to start to tap all across the chest, around the shoulders, up the neck, onto the face, around the jawline, mouth, cheeks, nose, temple, forehead, crown of the head, side of the head, back of the head. Really let the fingertips sink in. And then just start to find a bit of a sweep with the fingertips, just coming nice and slowly down, softening the touch. And then just allowing your hands to fall, to settle, closing the eyes down. Giving a couple of moments to the breath. Really allowing your breath to expand, to feel into the fullness of all that you are. And then as you feel ready, you can start to slowly open your eyes. Finding a nice slow deep breath in, and then a soft breath out. Take note of anything that comes up for you after this practice. So once again, it could be very subtle. It could just be simple sensations of the body. You might notice some shifts in your energy level, your emotions. You might start to have some sort of reactions or detox experiences through the skin. Take your time, be very gentle, but just simply observe whatever comes up. And once again, I would highly recommend that you trial this practice maybe for 7 days, if longer if you really enjoy it, and take note of what starts to occur. And if you have any questions, if you're curious about what we're doing here today and you would like to learn more, leave me a comment down below and I'd be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.